Chapter 3. Develop a positive thought process. At this point, you are most likely determined to liberate your mind from any limitations that keep you from attaining everything you ever wanted. You know well that this is possible with the help of your subconscious. The first step to accomplishing this goal is to develop a positive thought process. A positive thought process refers to having a healthy, optimistic thinking pattern wherein you think assuredly about everything that is going to happen to you or is happening with you. For instance, if you were to participate in a debate competition and have a positive thought process, you wouldn't think that you would lose. Instead, you would choose to feel confident that you would be declared as a winner. And even if you did not win, you would feel that you gained a lot from participating in the said event. Hence, a positive thought process enhances your thinking pattern. It helps you focus on the positive and productive and shut out the negative and unrewarding. Once you develop this ability, you will acquire complete freedom from negative thoughts. You will never be bothered by such ideas again. Let us look at the things you need to do to gain a better thought process and change it from an unconstructive one to an optimistic one. Step 1. Identifying the negative thought patterns. First and foremost, you need to identify what sort of negative thoughts usually form in your mind. These negative thought patterns commonly occur and are experienced by many. Catastrophizing. When you think that a bad situation is going to end up far worse than it actually is, you are catastrophizing. In a way, you are blowing things out of proportion. For instance, if you become feverish, you immediately think you're going to die. Mind reading. You think you know exactly what other people are thinking. For instance, if you always assume that your boss hates you, then you will end up believing that you will never get that promotion. Overgeneralizing. This refers to making a decision based on just one incident. For instance, if you forgot to include an important report in a presentation, you'd say, "I always forget to do this, even if it only occurred once." Black and white thinking. This means that you think that a certain scenario can only have a bad or a good outcome and that there can't be any middle way. For instance, you may think he is the best or the worst. Because of black and white thinking, you won't probably consider that he has flaws but he is a decent man. Critical self-talk. It refers to having a negative image of yourself. You constantly tell yourself that you can't do something or highlight your flaws and mistakes. For instance, always thinking that I am a loser or I am a failure. Predicting your future. You believe that you know exactly how things are going to turn out. For instance, you think that you will definitely fail a test even before you actually take it. Which of these do you normally experience? It is important to find out which negative thinking pattern is affecting your mindset. Keeping a log or a journal will help you become more aware of determining this. Whenever a negative thought pops in your mind, jot it down in the journal, along with the time, date, and incident related to that thought. Figure out to which category it belongs in order to keep track of your current thought process. Step 2. Replacing negative words with positive ones. The second step in developing a positive thought process is to slowly eliminate negative words from your routine speech. Gradually get rid of negative thinking by adding more simple and positive words to your speech. For instance, words like always, must, should, won't, and cannot, and phrases like I am sure, I already know, add a more decisive tone to your talk, including the negative thought. What kind of words do you usually tell yourself? Are they helpful or do they make you feel burdened? Observe how your daily thoughts affect you. When you say things like, I always make so many mistakes, or I cannot get anything done, you assure yourself that you are never going to improve. By saying negative things such as, I am sure I'm going to fail, or I'm never going to pass the test, you let yourself believe that you are incapable of doing something. Words and thoughts like these can easily plague your mind and infiltrate your thought process. Therefore, these words need to be eliminated from your mind and from your speech. Jot down all the negative words you commonly use in your thought journal and find positive replacements for them. For instance, replace cannot with can and won't with will. Instead of thinking I cannot do it, tell yourself I can try or I can do it. By adding positive words and phrases to your speech, you will feel that your thoughts are slowly becoming more positive as well. Step 3. Practice positive self-talk. Positive self-talk, or positive affirmation, refers to saying affirmative things to yourself. It is the best tactic to get rid of catastrophic, overgeneralizing, mind-reading, future-predicting, and critical self-talk practices your mind tends to fall into. In positive self-talk, you constantly tell yourself good and productive things to make your subconscious believe that you have what it takes to achieve something. Whenever a negative thought pops in your mind, you quickly replace it with a positive affirmation. Always be ready to transform any negative idea into a positive thought. Make yourself familiar with affirmative phrases and always keep them in mind. For instance, I am sure I'm going to fail should be replaced with I am going to pass. And I always err needs to be converted to I am going to do it right. When you find yourself thinking, I'm not good enough for this job, you can tell yourself, I may not be the best at this job, but I will learn and improve. On the other hand, be careful with using words and phrases such as I'm sure, I already know, must, and should to your affirmation, because these words burden you. It is best to steer clear of those. These words make you feel like you need to do something a certain way, and when that happens, you start doubting yourself. For instance, by saying, I'm sure I'm going to pass, you are burdened with the responsibility of passing the exam, and in case that doesn't happen, you will start losing yourself to negative thinking once again. Instead of encouraging you, it will cause you to become too hard on yourself. This is why these words must be avoided at all times. Make a habit of positively affirming yourself in every situation, so that your mind starts accepting these suggestions. It will become easier for you to dismiss any thought that is not helping you. Keep on feeding your mind with positivity. In about 3 to 4 weeks, you will experience a marked improvement in your thinking pattern, and will see it slowly changing to a positive one. Step 4. Add yet to your speech. The fourth thing you need to do is to include the word yet to your speech. This word adds possibility to your speech and gives you the hope that if you aren't able to do something right now, you might be able to learn to do it in the future. This thinking pattern is also known as the growth mindset, which believes that each person is capable of improving themselves. By accepting that you can grow and become better, you do not restrict yourself to the current state and set of skills. Instead, you focus and work on refining them. This realization imparts with you freedom. Freedom to work on yourself, freedom to become better, and freedom to enhance your skills and abilities. For instance, if you say, I cannot paint, you feel that you could never learn to paint. But by saying, I cannot paint yet, you get the feeling that you might be able to learn this skill later on. Don't resign to the fact that you will never be able to do something just because it seems impossible right now. Tell yourself that even though you can't do it yet, you still have the chance to do it at a later time. So, if yet hasn't been a part of your routine speech yet, you should start incorporating it into it from now on, so your thought process starts becoming a growth one. Make sure to practice all these 4 steps routinely to improve your thought process. Remember, you are in control of what goes on in your head, so choose only what is helpful to you. With the right habits, you will achieve a positive thought process and a mindset that is insusceptible to negativity.